Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Real Film Talk. My name is Will Braunlich. Now sit back, grab some snacks, and enjoy the review. It's been a little while since I gave you all a review, so I thought my first review back would be Marvel Studios' The Marvels. Here is my reaction for the trailer. Let us travel into the outer rims of space as we join with The Marvels.
Carol Danvers, prodigal child of the Milky Way.
Nick Fury, my favorite one-eyed man of intrigue.
How goes it out there?
Hey, Nick Fury. Hey, there's Goose.
No air, space.
Hey, it's space. Like the little add little S there.
The Annihilator. You took everything from me.
I'm guessing that's our villain for the movie.
And now I'm returning the favor.
It just seems funny how everybody's just in the right place at the right time.
What is happening to me?
That seems to be me every single time I see a movie. What the heck is happening to me?
Switch places whenever we use them.
Strong theory.
Very strong theory indeed.
I can see it. And Kamala.
Who's Kamala?
Hi. She can turn light
Yes,
into
hello.
physical matter, which I have never heard of.
I could totally show you.
No!
Yeah, there we go. A lot of water.
She's targeting every planet we call home. I would never choose to bring anybody into this.
You are not the only thing.
What, was there just a
standing
dance
between
sequence
us
there?
and the universe.
I swear, if that was the case, then that's kind of a bit of a low for Marvel.
Team. Higher. Further. Faster.
Whoa.
Who's that good kitty, Goose?
There's the Goose we all know.
I can't. Can you?
I got it.
Okay. The movie itself looks pretty interesting. I feel like if it focuses mostly on them switching places other than just trying to stop a bad guy from taking over the universe, then I feel like this has potential to be a pretty enjoyable Marvel movie. It just seems like Marvel movies these days just follow the same formula every single time, where there's a villain who wants to get something that could lead to the destruction of the whole universe, and a group of superheroes or just one superhero has to go and stop them. That seems to be the case for, well, not just Marvel, but comic book movies in general. Now, there are times, I'll mention this in my review as well, the Spider-Verse movies, they expand on more than just like, the whole universe is at stake. There are some DC movies that I thought wanted to break from the traditional formula that they used to do, like Wonder Woman in 2017. That was actually pretty colorful, and it was actually very nice to get a superhero movie that focuses just on the one hero instead of trying to set up the next 3 movies. But I feel like that's also the case for Marvel these days, is that they're trying to set up their next phase in the cinematic universe. A lot of people think they should just take a break, stop for a little while, after a bit, then come out with some more material. But I don't know. There are a few of their properties I'm looking forward to. Like, I know they're rebooting Blade with Mahershala Ali, and I think they're making a new Fantastic Four movie with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. So I'm excited for those. Yeah, so I will go see this movie, and I will give you my general thoughts. The Marvels is directed by Nia DaCosta and stars Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, and Iman Vellani. In the latest addition to the MCU, Carol Danvers gets her powers entangled with those of Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, forcing them to work together to save the universe. I remember seeing Captain Marvel for the first time, and while I did find some flaws with it, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a good time with it. I also watched WandaVision when we were in the midst of the pandemic, and that was pretty enjoyable too. It's pretty slow paced, but I think the payoff was worth it at times. I only saw Miss Marvel after seeing the first trailer for this movie. I thought this was a pretty solid show. It got me invested in the character of Kamala Khan and how her life just changes forever. Now I got this new movie where all 3 are together, and I wanted to have some optimism for this one. However, it seems like the superhero movie fatigue is pretty much in full effect, but that won't stop me from giving you all what you want. Now after seeing this movie, I won't say it's good, but it's not Marvel's worst. That distinction goes to Eternals. but allow me to share my thoughts. First, I think the chemistry between the three leads was really well done. They worked well off each other, and they managed to have enough charm and energy to make it work. However, I think Iman Vellani as Kamala was the best part of the whole movie. Most of the energy and charisma came from her every time she's on screen. She was the heart and soul of her own show, and the same applies here. She managed to get the most laughs out of all the characters in the whole movie, and you could tell that she was having a great time filming this. On top of that, I think the action was pretty fun too, especially when they're switching places. It was very fast-paced and exciting to watch sometimes, but that will eventually lead into one of my issues with the movie. It might seem like the movie is kind of all over the place with the editing, which it is, but that's not my main issue with the movie. My first main issue with the movie is the villain, Dar-Ben, played by Zawe Ashton. For some reason, I can never get behind her as a character. I don't really know anything about the character from the comics, but in this movie, I feel like she was very under-edited. We get a small flashback of her past, but that's over in a second, and I feel like we could have gotten more out of her. I feel like there were some scenes where they did dive into her story a bit, but it just seemed like at the last minute, they decided not to include those, making her seem very one-dimensional. Honestly, I'm not gonna remember this villain compared to some of the others Marvel has given us. I also felt like the movie was rushed at times. Now, granted, this movie is only an hour and 45 minutes long, but just started right out of the gate, and it doesn't really stop to take a breather. There are even some moments throughout the duration of the plot that I thought were pretty silly, even for Marvel. Without going into too many spoilers, there's a planet where their language is song. Literally, everyone on this planet sings, and if you try speaking to them, they probably won't know what you're saying. I feel like that completely shifted the tone of what we were going for, and things got pretty stupid from there. Another moment I wasn't a fan of, again, not going into too many spoilers, where there's a scene where they play a song from a Broadway show. If you've seen this movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. In terms of specific moments, those were really my biggest issues. Now, with all these criticisms I've given, you might think I'm going to hate this movie. Honestly, not really. Allow me to explain. Yes, I didn't like this movie, but not because it's yet another Marvel movie. I actually came to the conclusion that not just Marvel, but DC movies in general can follow the same formula and it'll still draw an audience. I wanted to point this out there. I don't think comic book movies are meant to have any sort of psychological meaning to them. They're about people with superpowers. Now, I do believe there are some comic book movies that became award contenders like Joker, Black Panther, some of the Avengers movies, and even the Spider-Verse movies. However, I feel like some, especially these days, aren't really supposed to contend for Best Picture at the Oscars. In fact, I will say that comic book movies are just a way to go to the movies and have a good time for about 2 hours. A lot of my friends love superhero movies, and while they're not my favorite genre, they are an excuse for me to go hang out with my friends and have a good time. In the end, the Marvels is pretty average to below average. While the chemistry between the leads is good and the action was exciting to watch, it just felt all over the place and just like another Marvel movie with not a lot added to it. But again, these movies will draw a crowd. My grade for the Marvels will be a C-. Thank you all for watching this review. I hope you all enjoyed it. Until next time, this is Will Braunlich, and I will see you at the movies. Save a seat for me.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.